Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren, if you didn't know. Because I'm in college and I do get good grades, I do work pretty hard, I think I have a good system, that makes me feel like I can sort of talk about my system and what I do to, achieve whatever semblance of balance I have in my life. So I have composed a list of 5 productive habits. One of them kind of has like a sub list, but that's still basically 5. I wouldn't say it's a 6th thing. So, we're just gonna get right into it. Woo! Can't really snap with this hand. I came up with this list based off kind of what I thought of first. I wrote that down as the number 1 thing, number 2, etc. So these are, I would say, probably the order of what I consider most important for me to be productive, but you may have the different order for yourself. You may have things I don't mention, things I mention may not apply to you, etc. But we're just gonna share what I said because it's my YouTube channel. So I said for my numero uno that you should use a planner or a calendar or both to keep track of everything going on. Because when you're in college, not only do you have, sorry, my chair's bouncy, not only do you have classes to keep track of, but you're probably in some kind of a club, you'll probably have some kind of meeting. There's also sporting events you may want to go to, social events you'll want to go to, depending on where you are. Maybe you want to go, if there's a city, like where I'm in a city, maybe there's certain things in the city you want to go to, or maybe you want to go on like hikes or some kind of activity. You're not just going to class and then sitting in your room the rest of the day. There's a lot of other stuff happening, and if you don't write down like, hey, this is something I need to do, somewhere I need to be, something, something's due coming up, you are not going to remember because there's just too much stuff. You may remember some things that may give you this false idea that you have a great memory, you remember everything going on, but it's wrong, you won't. Like I use a planner. I know I've talked about this before, but like I definitely use a planner. I also put everything on my phone. I definitely live by the Google Calendar thing. I do the scheduling, and like if you look at my month, like this will be my September. It looks horrible, but it's really important for me to be able to see what I'm doing and how much time I have. If I have a window for something, then if someone asks, hey, like, what are you doing on X day? I can actually pull up that day on the calendar and see that, hey, I actually have stuff going on, or actually I have 3 hours and we can meet up to do something. Versus I was like, oh, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you later. Maybe you never get back to them because you can't remember what you're doing and you don't want to commit, or you don't check, you don't have anything written down, and you say you could do it, but you've already agreed to something else, or you say you can do it and then you agree to something else later, and then you have to quit on somebody, and that's really never ideal. And that's even like with social stuff, like let alone the fact that you're hopefully in college, at least 50% of the reason you're in college hopefully is to learn and go to class and do well in school. If you're not keeping track of assignments, they will catch up to you and it will not be pretty, it will not be fun. And some of these assignments in college are major grades. Like 35% of your grade could be this one test or this one project. And if you're not like cognizant of that, you could be screwed. So you really need to keep track of everything. And it's not that hard. It may sound like a lot, but it's not that hard when you find out you have something due or something. Just take a couple seconds, put in your phone, put on a wall calendar, put in your planner. A couple seconds will save you so much stress and like nerves later when you suddenly can't figure out like what's going on. Now this thing is kind of my like subset. I also do use kind of to-do lists, and I actually now have a to-do list that kind of works with the planner, but you can also make a separate to-do list. And this is nice for if you're using a planner or a calendar, you're kind of seeing long-term things, but then for to-do list, you can make a daily to-do list. And you have to be realistic about this because say if you put 30 things on your to-do list, you're just not gonna get them all done, and you're going to feel very unproductive. You're going to feel like you're gonna be falling behind in everything. So think about the things that you need to get done for tomorrow. Think about big projects coming up, and like then you can space those out with the other daily tasks. So like I'd say on a general day, I probably have anywhere from like 7 to maybe 15 things on my to-do list. And that already also still sounds like a lot, but it is manageable. And I also know that because I have so many things, if a couple things I have to do like a little arrow over to do the next day, I don't feel like I was unproductive. because I still got the majority of my list. Whereas if I had 30 things on my list, like I thought of every single thing that needed to be done, even though I like would know I couldn't do them all in that day, at least probably at that point be like 18 things I couldn't do. And suddenly it seems like the overwhelming amount on my list I didn't get done. So be realistic with your to-do list, and I think that'll make you feel like you're accomplishing something, which is a great little boost to keep you motivated to do all the rest of the stuff you have to do. All right, my second thing that I thought of was that you really should go for walks or go to the gym or do something active. This may seem counterproductive because you're like, well, I need to get all this other stuff done. I don't have time to go work out or exercise. But I know that when I make time to go exercise, work out, provided I'm like not sick or something, because then I'm just not gonna that's not gonna make me feel better. It's a really good detox cleanse for your brain. Even if it's just taking a 10-minute walk outside, it's, you know, it'll do something for you. Or if you can, like spare like 30 minutes, 40 minutes and like go to the gym. There's lots of things you can do that will just help you kind of change gears in your brain for a little bit. When you come back, you will feel like so much more reset and refreshed, and you'll be ready to like get back to the grind. And this kind of goes along with it, but it is a separate thing. For my number 3 thing, you have to take breaks. You cannot work nonstop. You may think that the fastest thing for you to do would be to take like 6 hours and just bang through all your work, and then you'll have the rest of the time to do whatever you want, but you will burn yourself out. You will not get everything done. You'll find yourself sitting there wondering why you can't get anything more done because your brain is fried. I do like 45 minutes of work, 50 minutes of work, and then I take maybe 10 or 15 minutes as a break. It may seem that that's wasting time, but it's really not, because your brain needs a moment. And that way, when I'm done with that, I can put my phone away, put whatever I was doing away, and like work more, knowing that, you know, if something really important comes up, I will be back to it within an hour. So it's not like you're gonna miss out on really essential information, versus if you're trying to work for like 6 hours, you might suddenly worry like, what if someone tries to reach out to me, and you're not gonna get to it for that long of a time. But that's an irrational fear when it comes to the fact that you will be, you know, accessible in a dire situation. It also is just nice to, similar to the exercise, to have just a little reset moment. Like do a Sudoku puzzle, listen to some music, get a snack, go to the bathroom, get up. When by the time you get back, you'll be like, oh, it's time to do more work because I just had a little break. And it's nice. It's a nice feeling. Sometimes the break's not exactly as dedicated as like a set time. Like maybe you finish your chapter a little early, excuse me, or maybe you're still working on your chapter when the time goes, if you want to finish it, that's okay. It shouldn't be something super rigid. This shouldn't be something else you have to like stress about or worry about. It's just like a nice thing to give yourself some time. All right, so this is also incredibly important. This was the 4th thing I thought of, and it is to have a semi-regular sleeping schedule. Now in college, your classes may not all be at the same time. Last semester, I got lucky and I had all 11 a.m. So I pretty much could make the exact same morning routine and morning schedule. But that's not generally going to be the case. Like this semester, I have 10 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m., 9:30, no class. And then the weekend. So I wake up at 8:45 and then 8:15, 8:45, and 8:15. Friday and Saturday, I'm still going to commit myself to try to wake up between 9 and 9:30, and Sunday will be 9:30 and 10. So that may seem still like a pretty big gap, but because I think I'm waking up later during the week, it's not such a big deal. But say you're waking up and you have 8 a.m.s and you're waking up at like 7, I still recommend that on the weekends you don't try to sleep in until 1. Because having a regular sleeping schedule, even if there is like a window of certain hours, will still help you out a lot when it comes to just like feeling better. When you wake up in the morning, if you have a sleeping schedule, your body's going to get used to that. And then when you have about the same amount of sleep all the time, that will really pay off versus getting no sleep during the week, so only too much sleep on the weekend, then you're being off starting the week, and then every Monday is going to suck. Versus if you treat your body well and treat your sleeping cycle with respect over the weekends, Mondays are not going to be so bad because it's not like you're waking up at 1 on Sunday and then at 6:30 on Monday morning. It's a little thing, and it may feel like, oh, I'm missing out on sleep, but in the long term, it'll definitely help. I didn't really think about that, except last semester I was doing so well in the mornings because I was getting like pretty much, give or take, you know, the same amount of sleep every night. Obviously, there'll be some exceptions. You go to a concert, you go to like a party, you stay out especially late, whatever it is, or you wake up exceptionally early for some reason. But overall, having that goal is very important. And then the last thing, so my number 5 thing to keep this video, hopefully, I hope it's not super long. It's incredibly important. I know it's the 5th thing on the list. I know I'm only talking about really 5 things, but that doesn't make this any less important. And that is that you have to learn how to say no. Whether it's telling no to somebody who wants you to do something, saying no to yourself because you want to do an activity but you know you don't have the time for it. Sorry, there's just lots of sirens. I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but I'm hearing them. But you have to learn how to say no, because going back to that first thing, you have to be able to manage your time effectively. And if you're saying yes to everything, that's just not going to happen, because you need that break, you need that me time. And if you're nonstop, it's not going to happen. You have to be able to say, no, I can't do that. Whether it's you want to join a club, which I have experienced, and there were clubs I wanted to join, but I just physically cannot do them. So I had to tell myself, like, no, you can't sign up for this. You can't try to do this because I just know I don't have the time. Or telling somebody who, like, sometimes my friends want to hang out and I have homework to do. And I know that I could say, yeah, sure, I'll do the homework later, but I don't really have the time to do it later because I'm trying to stick to a certain sleep schedule, or I have something else to do. You can't make everybody happy, and you have to prioritize what you want out of your college education. And for me, the main reason I'm at school is to learn. So my academics are always pretty much going to be the number 1 priority. Obviously, I do make time for my friends, but that's why I have my planner and that's why I have my schedule. So I can have time for my friends and have time for academics and keep everything on track. So yeah, those are my 5 productive habits for college. So I think you really could apply them basically to any part of your life. It's not restricted. I hope it was interesting. I know I'm not as bubbly as I was in the other videos. I am filming this at night. I did schedule it to be filmed at night, so we're still okay there. But I went to the football game earlier, so it's been a long day. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a like. And if you didn't like the video, tell me why you didn't like the video so I can make better videos in the future. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.